Welcome to Problem Solving Through Programming, Module 2. Today we will discuss about looping statements. So what is a loop? So loop, it is a statement of program that is executed repeatedly until the condition is satisfied. Okay. So loop, it is a segment of program which is executed repeatedly until a condition is satisfied. Okay, so in looping we have two classification like entry controlled loop and exit control loop. So one is entry control and exit control. Okay, so entry controlled loop and exit controlled loop. So we'll see the types. So the first type is while do loop. And the second one is do while loop. And third one is for loop. So in that we even have nested for loop. So this while do loop is an entry control. This for loop is also entry control. Whereas this do while is exit control. Okay. So what is the meaning of entry control means? In while do, so the body of the loop is executed at least once. Okay, so the body of the loop will be executed at least once. Okay, whereas this do while loop, right? Second. So I'll tell you here. So while do, I'll just give us a difference and tell you what is this entry control and exit control. So entry control means the condition will be checked before the loop is executed, whereas exit control means test condition will be checked after the body of the loop is executed. So as of now you just know that. So entry means first the test condition will be checked. Okay, test condition will be checked first before executing the loop, before execution. Whereas in your exit control, this test condition is checked only after the execution. Checked after the loop execution. That is why this is called as entry control and exit control. So entry control means before executing only it will check for the conditions. Exit control means after executing the loop then only it will check for the conditions. So that is the difference between this entry control and exit control. Okay. So in while do, it will do the statement only while this condition is satisfied, whereas in do while it will do the operation first and then only it will check for the condition. Okay, so now you understood what is the meaning of entry control and exit control. So entry control means first it will check for the conditions, test everything, and then only it will execute the blocks. Whereas exit control, it will first execute the loop, then only it will check for the test conditions and all. Okay, so now we will see the while loop. First one is while loop. So it is the simplest looping structure in C. This while is the simplest looping structure. Simplest one. And the statements in the program may need to repeat for many times. Okay, so it may repeat for many times. So the loop will contain two segments. One is your control statement segment and another one is the body of the loop. Right? So it will be repeated. And we have like two sections. One is your control statement section and another one is your body of the loop. Okay, so how does it execute? So while condition, it will check for the condition. While this condition is true, it will go and it will execute the loop. So this is the loop of loop body. Okay, it will execute that loop body, and whether it will increment or decrement depending upon the statement, it will increment or decrement the loop. Okay, so this is the syntax of your while. Right? So if I say in a flow chart, it will be better understanding. So it will check for the condition. Okay, if condition is true, it will execute the loop body. Right? And if it is executing the loop body, then it will update. So either incrementing, decrementing, whatever it is, it will update the loop. Okay, if the condition is false, what it will do? If the condition is false, it will directly go process the result and stop. And then stop. Right? So we will explain with one example. So let us take program to add 3 numbers. Okay, so we'll write the library or preprocessor stdio.h int main, then I open brace, do the declaration int a comma b comma c, because I'm taking 3 numbers, and then sum storing in this sum, print enter 3 numbers, and I'm going to input it scanf. So 3 numbers are all integers, so percentage d, percentage d, percentage d. So we have to give us ampersand a comma ampersand b comma ampersand c, and the execution statement sum is equal to a plus b plus c. Print the sum is percentage d comma sum, then it will return to 0. So this is a simple program, right? So using normal instructions. So the same thing we'll do using while. Okay, same program we'll do using while. So I have include stdio.h int main. Let us say I'll add n numbers. Okay, now add n numbers, then it will be better if I put it in the loop. Int I is equal to 1 comma n comma sum equal to 0. Printf enter the value of n. Scanf percentage %3 ampersand n. Now comes the loop. So while I is less than n, less than or equal to n, then sum is equal to sum plus I. Then I do increment, right? Next I print the sum is sum of n numbers is percentage %d comma sum and return 0. So what happens here? So I have given variable I and variable n and variable sum. So I am initializing this I with 1 and sum I am initializing it with 0. Okay, so I am inputting the value n. So since this is 1, so if 1 is less than n, suppose if for example I am giving n is equal to 3. Okay, now it will check. So 1 is less than or equal to 3. It is true. So it will go to sum. So first sum is 0, right? 0 plus 1 equal to sum. So it will store this in this. So here it is 1. And next it will do I plus plus. So what it will do now? I will be incremented. So it will be 2. It will be 2 now. So again it will go to the loop. Right, now it will check 2 less than or equal to 3. Yeah, true. So what will happen here? What is the value present in sum? What is the value present in sum? So it is 1. So 1 plus 2. Right. It will store it in sum. So we have 3. Now it will go. It will check 3 less than or equal to 3. So it is equal. Yeah, true. So it will give sum plus excuse me. So here it will be 3 plus 3. Okay, so 6. And next it will go to the loop. Whether it is less than or equal to 3, no. Then it will exit the loop. Likewise it will run the loop. Okay, so we have only 2 and 3. So sum is 2 plus 3, it is 5. So it is 2. So 2, 3. So right, like that it will go on execute. Okay. What is next? do while. So what it will do, it will execute the loop, then only it will check for condition. So do, then it will execute the statements, and then it will check for the condition. Okay. So what is the difference between while loop and do while? So while do, it is an entry control, and do while is an exit control. So what does it do? It will test for condition. It will test the condition first. Before executing the loop. Here it will execute the loop, then check for test condition. Okay. So here if the condition is false, no, it will not execute the loop. Okay, it will not execute the loop, whereas here the loop will be executed at least once, even if the condition is false. Loop will be executed at least once, even if condition is false. Okay. So this while loop, it is called as top tested loop because it is coming from up, right? Top tested loop. Whereas this do while, it is called as bottom tested loop because your testing is done only at the bottom of the syntax. Okay. Next is your for loop. So most commonly used looping structure is your for loop. So what is the structure of your for loop? We'll have the initialization loop counter variable, then it will check for the condition and do increment or decrement the counter variable. So syntax is for initialization, then it will check for the condition and it will do either increment or decrement. Okay, so it initializes the loop counter variable, and it will check for the condition and either increment or decrement the loop counter variable. Okay. Okay, so we'll see one example for this. So same, we'll take add n numbers, right? So int main, so integer number count sum equal to 0, then printf enter a positive integer, scanf %t and num. So here begins your for loop for count equal to 1. I am initializing it with 1 and count is less than or equal to number, so condition, then incrementing plus count, and sum is equal to sum plus, same program only, but we are just using for loop. Print sum is equal to %t comma sum, then return to 0, close. Okay, so here it is count, and if it is less than or equal to 1, then it will increment. Same. Okay, first I'm initializing with 1, and 1 less than n, it will check. If it is true, then it will increment in the yeah. Sum is equal to, first sum is 0 plus then 1, then it will increment by 2, and it will check whether 2 is less than n. If it is true, again it will check for this, it will do the sum, and then likewise it will go on increment the count until it is less than this n. So if it is reaching that value, then it will execute. If it is reaching the value, it will exit. Okay, same way we can have nested looping statement, nested for loop statement. So it will be like nested for loop. I'm just writing only the syntax. So for the condition here, so initialization, then condition, then increment or decrement. Okay, so inside this we might have one more for initialization, condition, increment or decrement, then here it will execute the body. So I have to close this loop and close this loop. Okay, so if I say one example for this, int I comma j comma n printf enter number, scanf percentage d percent n for I is equal to 1, I less than or equal to n, I plus plus. So I'll open this, again nested, so one more for I'll put. So I'll use the variable j is equal to 1, j less than or equal to n, j plus plus. Open this. Now I'll give the statement, body of the loop. So print star. So I'll close this loop, and for this, for every new line it has to print. So I'll just give new line and close it. Okay, then return to 0, and for the main function one more brace. Okay, so what it will do, so now I is equal to 1, and I that is 1 is less than or equal to, for example, if you're taking n is equal to 6, right? So I is less than n, so 1 is less than 6, so it will increment and it will have it. So it will increment as 2 and it will have it here coming, then it will come to this loop. So j is equal to 1, j less than, so j also let us say 1, and 1 is less than 6, so it is incrementing, right, and incrementing, and it is printing the star. And then again it will go, it will check what is this, so it is incrementing to 2, no, now 2 is less than n, it will check, yes, so it will wait here, again it will, here it will come, it has also incremented 2, so 2 is less than 6, yes, it will print for 2 times. Likewise it will go on do till it is printing that star for 6 times. So but it is given here new line, so it will print in the next line, so like this it will print. Likewise still it is 6. Okay, so inner loop is finished after this n is equal to 6, then it will go for the outer loop, so there it will become 7, so it is greater, so it will stop, it will come out of the loop. Okay, Even in while loop also we can have nested while. So syntax, it will be like while, it will test for the condition, open it, and the next while, nested while, condition, and here your body of the loop, close it for the inner loop, right? And here I can write the body for inner loop, and body of the outer loop. Then you can close that. So this is for your if nested while, sorry, right? So this is about your looping structure. So next we'll discuss about arrays in the next class. Thank you.